News. The news is live from our studios at Kokomimle Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are live on Love 99.5 FM and affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including ATL FM, Cape Coast, Kekeli Radio Ho, and Radio Max Takrady. Better still, download the My Joy Online app from the Play Store and App Store to listen live around the world. And coming up, the unending controversy surrounding President Akufo-Addo's foreign trips. Minority spokesperson on foreign affairs levels fresh allegations saying recent trips to the UK and Germany cost the taxpayer millions of cedis. He wants a national policy on such travels. We'll hear from him, plus what our checks have revealed on why the presidential jet may not have been used for the trips. Confusion at PNC press conference after the party's regional chairman disrupted it, demanding reasons for the suspension of its general secretary.
You can't come to intimidate a leadership here. What sort of life is that? Are you bigger than all of them sitting there? Where are you?
We'll speak with the national chairman of the party live. Also, keep the lights on and at an affordable price. Energy minister's marching orders to the board of the VRA.
When lights go off, 5-year-olds are calling Uncle Napo. People who don't work in VRA or ECG. If for nothing, they should be able to keep their power on and say, make it affordable.
We'll hear from the energy minister. In sports,
Youth and Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf has been explaining the circumstances around the amount owed Black Stars coach Siki Akono. Later.
And we'll also tell you how a Wachi joint exposed a popular politician to the harsh realities facing Ghanaians.
And as we head together, these citizens of our country and my constituency share the concerns agitating their minds with me. They spoke about the growing challenges facing their businesses.
More from Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin. And in showbiz, Mansa hitmaker Bisakade tells us about his major collaboration with US R&B superstars Asha Raymond and John Legend.
It was actually planned. I'm actually in the States trying to connect with some one or two people. Next year is my 10 years anniversary and releasing my album.
You want to stay for details? I'm Arba Kumson. Thank you for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. In our first story, minority spokesperson on foreign affairs Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa is this afternoon calling for a national policy to regulate foreign travels of the president. He alleges the nation paid as much as 3.4 million cedis for the president's recent trips to the United Kingdom and Germany. Mr. Okujeto, in May this year, alleged the nation had to cough up £15,000 an hour as the president, he claims, opted for luxurious aircrafts instead of using the presidential jets. He demanded answers from the defense minister on the cost, but was told the finance minister will answer. This was the response of the finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, when he appeared in Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, the President's domestic and international travels are matters to do with national security. The National Security Minister is really best placed, Mr. Speaker, to furnish this honorable House with the details needed.
So that was Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta last month when he appeared before Parliament. We're joined on the line by Mr. Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa for more on his claims about the president's recent trips. Many thanks for your time. You claim that this trip or these trips to the UK and Germany cost more than 3 million cedis. And what is the source of this information? And first of all, let's start off with your source of information.
Well, good afternoon, Araba. As you do know, as a very senior journalist, sources are not matters that we disclose that easily. But I can confirm to you that these are checks I have run with the various entities responsible, both local and international. And you do know that when I first put out this president's pressure for chartered jets at the expense of the presidential jet, which is in pristine condition, which he should be using, there was an initial attempt to create the impression that perhaps it's not credible information. But as you do know, all of what I put out in May on the president's trips to Belgium, France, and South Africa have checked out. It's been proven to be very authentic. Indeed, the defense minister came to Parliament on the 16th of June in responding to my question on the state of the presidential jet. The defense minister confirmed that indeed they went to charter the Airbus ACJ 320 Neo, which is operated by Acropolis Aviation, based in Farnborough, the United Kingdom. So be rest assured that the current information I've put out, that this Boeing 737-900ER BBJ3 with manufacturer serial number MSN 62515 and line number 5659, registered LXDIO in Luxembourg, it's on that same vein, authentic, unimpeachable, credible information. And it is really shocking that despite the outrage, the uproar in this country, and the fact that the dust is even yet to settle, the National Security Minister was only saved by the bell. We had to go on recess. And as you do know, when Parliament returns from recess, he has to respond to that question on the cost of the full cost of the first round trip to France, Belgium, and South Africa. And one would have thought that the president will now be minded to wean himself off this insatiable appetite for luxury aircraft and just use the presidential jet. Look, this presidential jet was delivered in 2010. The same year the French received their presidential jet. President Macron continues to use the presidential jet, which arrived in 2010. The same year Ghana's presidential jet arrived. That's what President Macron used to the G20, to the G7 when he visited Rwanda 2 months ago. That's what he used, the same jet.
Mr. Blakwa.
The Americans have been using their jet, which they commissioned in 1991. They're still using it. Why is President Akufo-Addo refusing to use the presidential jet, which President Akufo
Have
ordered?
you sought to find out answers to these questions, why the presidential jet was not being used? Perhaps there is a legitimate reason.
I have in Parliament, and all the reasons being accused are not legitimate, they are not sound, they just don't cut it. When you say, for example, that the president wants a bigger jet, that our presidential jet seats 17 people. If you look at all these luxurious VIP jets the president is chartering, it's just 19-seater, just 2 seats difference. What's the difference between a 17-seater and a 19-seater? And then the other very ridiculous excuse the defense minister gave, that the president cannot even shower in the presidential jet. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, why does the president have to shower? Look at going to Europe, 6.5 hours. Are they telling us that when the president is working in Ghana, the president showers every 6 hours? Is that what they are telling us?
Mr. Blakwa,
So those justifications don't cut it.
The point is well made, but you have talked about the need for us to, demand a national policy on presidential travels, because this issue keeps coming up. It's not going to go away anytime soon. What are you hoping to seek? What are you seeking that this policy would do going forward?
As it is now, our country lacks a national presidential travel policy like we have in other jurisdictions. And so these matters have been left to the discretion of the president. And it's clear that President Akufo-Addo is not acting like his predecessors. He's not acting like President Mahama. He's not acting like President Mills. He's not acting like President Kufuor. He's abusing the discretion. So a national presidential travel policy will enforce strict guidelines. And President Akufo-Addo and any subsequent president will be obliged to comply with that travel policy. If you look at what pertains in the United States of America, even when you use Air Force One for official assignment, and as part of that assignment, it is a mixed assignment where probably you do a detour to attend a party fundraiser or a party campaign or a graduation of your son or grandchildren, you are made to reimburse. There are strict guidelines that you follow.
Right.
And those are rich nations who are protecting the public purse. So I want something along those lines that will regulate and will take away this discretion which is being wantonly abused
Very well.
by the current president.
Thank you so much for your time. That's a minority spokesperson on foreign affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa there. And you heard him. He's calling for a national policy to regulate foreign travels of presidents. Now, we have been running some checks with our sources within government about why the presidential jet may not have been used. My colleague Elton Brobe joins me in studio. Elton, what did we find?
So, about the information we are getting from sources within government is that at the time this trip was planned, the presidential jet was already out of the country on a routine maintenance schedule, and that the jet came in 24 hours before the president took off to Germany. So the advice was that it was not proper for them to have used the presidential jet at the time the president went off, because he had just come into the country 24 hours before the trip. But as we speak now, the jet is in good condition and there's nothing wrong with it.
All right. Many thanks, Elton Brobe, there with those details. Now, government is being urged to thoroughly investigate allegations of corruption and take decisive actions. This is believed to be a sure way of dealing with perceptions about corruption. The call comes in the wake of a CDD survey that sampled the views of some Ghanaians. 62% of those sampled expressed low confidence in the ability of President Akufo-Addo's government to curb corruption and protect financial resources. 35% of the respondents, on the other hand, expressed confidence in government's ability, while 3% said they did not know. Dr. Edem Selome is Director of Research at CDD Ghana.
Confidence in government's ability to promote rule of law and financial accountability. Whilst Ghanaians are split in their opinion on government's ability to ensure that the rule of law is upheld, majority are not confident in the ability of Nana Addo's government to protect the financial resources and curb corruption in the next 4 years. So again, you can see that 62% over that's the highest so far in terms of people's views about whether corruption can be curbed in the next 4 years.
Director of Research at the CDD Ghana, Dr. Edem Selome there. The governing MPP yesterday raised issues about the findings, saying it is influenced by propaganda that does not reflect reality. Peter McMeno is 2020 campaign manager.
Okay, I have my copy of the 2020 pre-election survey here. Oh, of course, if you look at the hula baloo people are talking about and you look at the survey results, you will be amazed. I mean, look at what people are saying. It means that there's so much propaganda than the actual work that's going on. That's the way I see from the results. And we must look at actuals than propaganda.
Well, Programs Manager of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Ada, says government should deal decisively with allegations of corruption to instill confidence in citizens.
In the normal scheme of things, citizens are seeing a lot of things going on, and I can mention the health minister's issues in recent past as an example. So these inform the views and then the opinions of citizens as to how the fight against corruption is going. So it's not out of a vacuum that they are citing that there is not much hope.
What specifically do you think government can do in terms of the approach going forward?
The approach going forward is simple. Simple in the fact that we need to change the perceptions and opinions of people. How do we do that? Action. And so when there are allegations of corruption, there must be swift investigation, independently done, no interference from government, and then the recommendations thereof are implemented as quickly as possible to serve as a deterrence for others who would want to engage. Again, we continue to say that we should allow our investigative bodies to do their work without any interference and resource them well.
Mary Ada is Programs Manager of the Ghana Integrity Initiative. Now, you could soon be paying less for electricity you consume. That's if the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Pempe, succeeds in convincing the utility companies to accept a reduction in tariffs. He says the country cannot speedily industrialize because electricity is very expensive and continuously acts as a barrier to firms and individuals hoping to set up industries. He wants the trend to change and is counting on the newly constituted board of the Volta River Authority to lead the way.
The cost of power does not promote industrialization well in this country. And we have to work with the regulatory agencies as VRA to ensure that we generate efficiently, transmit efficiently, distribute efficiently, and make it affordable for Ghanaians. One of the things we're looking forward to in the next 4 years, at least, we've told Ghanaians that we are not doing doom so, we are doing doom CAC. It's the VRA's mandate to make sure that we don't only doom CAC, but we ensure that doom so is a thing of the past in this country. Because we are sitting on a tightrope. We now claim that we have excess, we have more generation than we need. But when you look at the rate of growth of energy utilization, or 7% to 8%, if we are not careful and don't add more generation, very soon we will get into a deficit. When lights go off, 5-year-olds are calling Uncle Napo. I don't work in VRA or ECG, or for that matter, Gridco. But one of the symbols in this country that are associated with government is our ability to put the lights on.
Well, board chairman of the Volta River Authority, Kofi Tutu Ajari, assured they will work to fix the challenges facing the company, but he's insisting any future blackouts or doomsaw cannot be blamed on the VRA.
I'm fortunate enough to inherit a company which is run well in an environment that is changing significantly. Gas and how that, as it pertains to gas strategy and how that pertains to our ability to continue to produce is one thing you have to look at. The infrastructure that exists within country to ensure that we have an equitable distribution of power at a reasonable price. Affordable is sustainable, and I think sustainable is the most important thing. We don't want to go back to the world of subsidies, and I think we have to make sure that we are attractive enough to bring outside investments, because this is not something that VRA can do on its own. It needs the support of Gridco. It needs ECG to be where it needs to be. Our expectation and hope is that the word doomsaw does not come up during the time that we are there, or if it does come up, it's nothing to do with us.
Well, the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission is likely to meet next week to consider the minister's proposal for reduced tariffs. My colleague Joseph Akable has been speaking with the sources at the commission and joins me with details. What more are we learning?
So we understand the PURC has received proposal for tariff adjustments from all the utility companies. The commission will study it once its governing board is inaugurated by the president. And we understand that a major tariff adjustment will commence after that. And it's important to state that the PRC for some time now have not adjusted the tariffs despite a request for upward adjustment from some of these utility players.
Many thanks, Joseph Akable. Let's do some more politics. And this afternoon, the Convention People's Party has given government a 3-week ultimatum to refund monies collected from Ghanaians who had to purchase application forms to be considered for employment in state-owned agencies. The party has been addressing a press conference today, and my colleague Faustina Safo is there. She joins us on the line. So give us details about this. I mean, what exactly is the situation? They're saying that Ghanaians had to purchase application forms to be considered for employment in state-owned agencies.
Yes, indeed. So the party is claiming that they have received information from some of their party faithfuls and even Ghanaians as a whole who are complaining about the need to purchase a form before applying for any state-owned agency. Now, it comes as several security agencies in the country, including the Ghana Police Service. They have begun mass recruitment of staff across the country. Now, eligible applicants are required to purchase a form at 100 cedis. Now, questioning why a citizen will have to pay to serve the state, the chairperson of the party is saying that government is encouraging corruption by exporting money from the youth. They are also demanding an account of all the money taken in previous recruitment process. What the government do with the money, that's what they're saying. They're threatening to drag government to court by the 21st of September if government refuses to heed their call.
Right, many thanks. That's Faustina Safo with that update from the PNC press conference this afternoon. They have given government a 3-week ultimatum to refund monies collected from Ghanaians who they say had to purchase application forms to be considered for employment in state-owned agencies.
She's not coming here. She won't come here. She's coming right now. She will not come here. The police are wasting time. Intimidation, we are all above people. Nobody can intimidate single person. We are all human beings. We are Ghanaians, fully Ghanaians. You can't come to intimidate the leadership here. What sort of life is that? Are you bigger than all of them sitting there?
So what you heard there was confusion at a press conference being addressed by leadership of the People's National Convention earlier today. The Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the party, Balami Kankam, disrupted it, demanding reasons for the suspension of the party's General Secretary. It took the intervention of the police to restore calm. The Greater Accra Chairman of the party was later escorted out by the police, following which all doors were locked for the briefing to continue. We're hoping to speak to National Chairman of the party, Moses Daniba, and when we do get him, we'll bring you details of what happened at that press conference. But you're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Stories gone by, the unending controversy surrounding President Akufo-Addo's foreign trips. The minority spokesperson on foreign affairs has leveled fresh allegations, saying the recent trips to UK and Germany cost the taxpayer millions of cedis, and he wants a national policy on such travels. Also, we told you just about the confusion at the PNC press conference after the party's regional chairman disrupted it, demanding reasons for suspension of its general secretary. Still ahead, we'll tell you how a Wache joint exposed a popular politician to the harsh realities facing Ghanaians.
And as we head together, these citizens of our country and my constituency share the concerns agitating their minds with me.
More from Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Fenyomaking. And in showbiz, Mansa hitmaker Bisakede tells us about his major collaboration with US R&B superstars Asher Raymond and John Legend.
It was actually planned. I'm actually in the States trying to connect with someone or two people. Next year is my 10 years anniversary and releasing my album. Yeah.
The boys are back, oh! The boys are back! Imagine inviting great footballers like Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe into your home. Imagine feeling the big mad temperament of football's fiercest rivals in your living room. Imagine enjoying the home ground advantage of witnessing the best of Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, UEFA Europa, and many more leagues all in English. Or stop imagining. Just get a GoTV decoder now at 89 Ghana cedis and upgrade to GoTV Max to turn your home into the home ground of great football. To purchase a new decoder, SMS GoTV to short code 1731. GoTV. Love it.
Drama from day one. A month away. Vodafone Smart Serve is here. Yes, Smart Serve from Vodafone allows you to connect to super fast wireless internet anywhere and anytime at your own convenience. Whether home or office or on your, we meal with seamless connectivity. Tell you there's even more. Vodafone Smart Serve connect up to 32 devices. What? So now you can connect to the internet on your own terms. Increase your productivity, make the most of the things that matter, and do so much more. Visit fbb.vodafone.com.gh or the nearest Vodafone shop today and get a Smart Serve device now. A world of exciting possibilities awaits.
Vodafone. Together we can.
You're welcome back to the Midday News. It's time for sports, and Nathaniel Atto joins me in studio. What's in sports?
Well, Youth and Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf has confirmed that some amounts of money have been paid to Black Stars coach CK Akono. Sometime last week, Joy Sports revealed that CK Akono is still owed some 7 months in salary arrears. Ahead of the Black Stars qualifier against Ethiopia and Cape Coast, the minister has been addressing the issue of monies owed the Black Stars coach.
The impression should not be created as if in the last 7 months nothing has been done with the coach's salary. And I can say categorically that since I assumed office, I've paid the coach 7 months of his salary. And I have been in office just for 6 months. Yeah. Before I assumed office, the coach, there was outstanding payment. So I engaged the coach and the GFA, and I said, it is not acceptable to be owing
our coaches when they are delivering, especially when he has taken us to AFCON. We've qualified for AFCON. So every effort that I'm going to make to ensure that at least we don't compile additional debt, I'm going to do it, whilst taking steps to clear the outstanding. And that is why now the outstanding is 7 months. It's not like this year the coach have not been paid. That is not the fact of the matter.
Mustafa Yusuf is Youth and Sports Minister. And remember, there'll be live commentary of that game between the Black Stars and Ethiopia from the Cape Coast Stadium live here.
So, Nathaniel, it's 1st September. Have you received your alert?
You see, my phone is not here with me, so I'll tell you that later. That's your sport.
Thank you, Nathaniel Atto with sports. Now, health authorities are unhappy at the slow start of the ongoing AstraZeneca vaccination exercise in the Ashanti region. Although the region has been allocated with 70,300 doses of the vaccine, few residents are taking advantage of the exercise. Ohim Interior of our health desk reports public enthusiasm has waned as health officials encourage full public participation. He joins us on the line. Ohiming, so what accounts for the poor response by the residents?
Yes, our public health officials are attributing the what you say delayed and slow start of the vaccination exercise to public apathy. People want to take advantage of the exercise at the 11th hour when the exercise is closing. And then this time around, unlike the previous exercises where people were allowed to take their second dose at facilities where they didn't take the first dose, this time around it's not happening like that. So what it means is that you have to go back to the center where you had the first dose to be able to take the second dose. So it's probably you could have your details there. And they believe this may have accounted for the slow start of the exercise in the region. But still, they are not happy at the numbers so far. Dr. Kingsley Osefachi is the Okoikom Municipal Health Director.
Yesterday, we didn't start in the morning, but we still managed to send the teams out to do some work. So we had about 78 people coming for vaccination. We are hoping today to pick up since all the teams started in the morning.
How many centers are we looking at, and what is the target for Ofoikrom?
We are looking at about 8 centers, and our target is 3,415.
It's our time for a classroom project now, and for pupils of the Breman Jamara Catholic School in the Central Region, memories of the 6 pupils killed after their school block collapsed on them are still fresh on their minds. Their fear is that their current school block, which is even weaker compared to the collapsed Methodist school, could crush on them any day.
I'm with Aka. We came to spend holidays at Shoko, and I heard the building have killed children at Methodist school. It was very bad because the future leaders are gone. We are lucky that it hasn't collapsed. We thank God for that, and that building was disgusting, but this is disgusting.
I wanted to school here because of the building, and when I was at Accra, I heard that Methodist school, school building has collapsed, so I don't wanted to stay here at all because of the building, so I wanted to go to Esuma.
Well, to address this threat, the Joy News, in partnership with Star Ghana Foundation, has initiated the Classroom Project, giving you the opportunity to be part of the campaign to provide conducive and safe school blocks for 2 communities. The West African Civil Society Institute has applauded a multimedia group for the initiative. Head Knowledge Management and Communication, Jim Chick Fomijong, charged the public to embrace interventions of such nature across the country.
Is a very timely initiative and a very laudable one, and thanks to Joy News for taking up such a great initiative. And this is quite important because, you know, in a society like Ghana, there is evidence that we, the Ghanaian people, we love to give.
So if you'd like to support, Momo transactions should go to 0593038832 Joy FM, or to Access Bank account number 00901 010-54191 Castle Road branch. The branch code is 009 and the Swift code is ABNGGHAC. You may also reach us at our front desk for further inquiries on the number 0302 216 540. It's time for entertainment, and Mapitso joins me in studio. So we're talking about Bisakede and his big time collaboration.
And his big time collaboration. You know, last day his song was featured on a Netflix movie, Jingle Jangle, and then he's in California and he met with the producers. But the exciting thing is that he'll be working with Usher Raymond and John Legend, and my colleague KMJ has been speaking to him about that.
I'm actually in the States trying to connect with some one or two people, Okay. Next year is my 10 years anniversary and releasing my album next year. So I'm doing all the necessary things I'm supposed to make it happen. That's why, I say, trying to connect with all these people so that it went very well, It went very well. We talked about a lot of things. Omokradi are trying to see if they can come to Ghana to do something.
That's Bisakede.
That's good news.
That's great news. We're
Yes.
waiting for that.
All right, many thanks, Mapitso. And before we go, on our Joy Clean Ghana campaign today, officials of the Environmental Health Directorate of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly have locked up a corn mill facility operating under unhygienic conditions. We'll be bringing you details in our subsequent bulletins. But that's how we end the news. Our top story: Minority spokesperson on foreign affairs levels fresh allegations, saying recent trips by the president to the UK and Germany cost the taxpayer millions of cedis, and he wants a national policy on such travels. There are more news on myjoyonline.com. My name is Araba Kumsin.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is.